Hey everyone, I'm Mine, and welcome back to another Legacy versus Original comparison video. In today's video, I'm going to be comparing the two versions of the X-1 Ninja Charger that have been released. We have the original Set 70727 X-1 Ninja Charger from 2014 released with the second wave of Ninjago Rebooted, and we have the all-new Ninjago Legacy Set 71737 X-1 Ninja Charger, which is coming new in 2021. These are obviously both based on Season 3 of Ninjago Rebooted, but this set came out alongside that season, while this set is a remake for newer fans 7 years later. If you're new to the channel and you haven't seen how I've done these before, I don't go over side builds or minifigures in these comparisons because I'm comparing the interpretations of this vehicle. I'm not going over the minifigures included the side builds because that can differ between the two. I think the best objective comparison is just to compare the vehicles themselves. However, I have already done a review of this set and I'll be doing a full review of this set soon, including the minifigures, so if you're curious about that, stay tuned and you will see that pretty soon. Before I get started, I'd just like to ask you guys to like the video and subscribe to the channel if you're new. All sorts of LEGO and Ninjago content that's already been posted and a lot more coming soon, so you'll want to stay tuned for that. But yeah, with all that out of the way, let's get on to this comparison. So we'll start here with the original X-1 Ninja Charger. This is something I got off eBay recently. I did not have this set as a kid, so as such, I'm not as familiar with it as I am with some of the other sets I've used in these comparison videos. However, looking at it, it's definitely got a lot of good qualities for the time. I really like this front section here. It uses I think these were originally Bionicle shoulder blade pieces. I might be completely off on that, but I think, or they were using Technic really for cars and stuff. So seeing those used in a more brick built set's pretty cool here. Got some just gray grills in the front, a couple blue Technic pins sticking out. Not the prettiest, especially when looking at this from the front, right? That blue just feels very out of place there. Around the side you have the stickered piece right here. You have cones coming out of the wheels. Those are some pretty cool texture, and that's actually not present on the remake, which we will see in a little bit. Up here, you've got these 6 silver exhausts, and these are very, very cool. It feels like a very, high-tech car, which definitely, fits Kai's whole personality, having all of these right here. And this actually serves as a play feature as well. This entire area could be lifted up to be used as a turret. You can see there's some red spring-load shooters in here. You could shoot those out. I'm not going to because I'm sure you guys know how spring-load shooters work, but yeah, those are right there. And they're actually hidden pretty well when it's down like this. You could technically shoot them out like this, but they'll probably just hit the windshield right here. So the real purpose of this is to use the transformation feature to pull the turret up. This entire turret section should be rotated 360 degrees. You can see these black fins in the back of the vehicle can rotate with it, which does look a bit awkward. I wish those stayed in place while the turret rotated. But this rotating turret's very cool. Once again, this is not present on the new version. There is a turret, but it's not rotate like this, because this can go up and down and it can move 360 degrees, which is definitely very, very cool. It's a really great play feature, right? Just having more range of motion, more ways to shoot this turret is very excellent. And because the side builds of this set do come with flying vehicles and everything, this is very, very cool. And I think this is super well done. However, with the turret up, display wise, it's not the prettiest, right? You just have that bright yellow right there. You can see there's just tons of open studs in there. Doesn't look great, honestly. Doesn't look amazing when the turret's down either, but it does look a little bit better than with the turret up. Speaking of hidden weapons, there's also these flick missiles right here that can be pulled out. This is very simple but very fun. I'm not a huge fan of flick missiles, but if you want to flick them, you can shoot them out. They fly out just like that, and then they can be hidden away. I think that's cool how they flip out like that, and they are very well integrated into the build. Coming around to the back, we have some thrusters with some exhausts. Really cool part usage right here. This, I believe, is the basketball hoop piece in gunmetal gray. I've never had the basketball hoop piece at all before this set, and it's especially cool to get it in this color, and I think that works very well here. You can see there's this bigger fiery exhaust right here, and then there's 2 smaller red ones right there. This is incorporated into a play feature, which we'll look at in a second. And then coming around to the other side, as you can see, it's pretty similar to the side we already looked at. So yeah, let's take a look at that play feature. The first main thing is the hood right here can be rotated up. You can move it manually from down there, or you can push back on these black pieces right here to open it up. There's what the vehicle looks like on the inside with the hood moved up. You can see there's these big yellow pieces right here. And the play feature is you can push back on this orange exhaust right here, and push in like that, and this little bike will fly out. This feature only works when the hood's already been opened. There's not enough strength back here to push the bike through the hood. If we try to do it like this, it sort of opens it, but the bike really can't go anywhere, so you do need to open the hood up prematurely, and then the bike can slide out. And looking at the bike by itself, it's very, very simple, right? Some red, there's some stickers right here with some fire on them. I believe there's supposed to be a stickered console piece right here. Unfortunately, the eBay seller I bought this from did not include it. I might try to get the sticker sheet for the set before my full review of the set, but just keep in mind there is supposed to be a console piece there. Overall, it's not the prettiest looking bike, right? You have this little Technic pin right here. That's how the entire mechanism works. However, I think it is pretty good looking, and compared to the newer one, which we'll look at in a second, I think this is probably the better looking of the two bikes, because there's some sides old Kai, and there's no handlebars or anything for him to control, but there is this console piece, and he can actually put his hands on top of it. So while it's not the most complex or interesting bike piece, I think it works, and it is done fairly well. But with that being said, let's take a look at the Legacy remake of this set. Here is the Ninjago Legacy version of the X-1 Ninja Charger. First thing right off the bat that I noticed about this compared to the original is this feels a lot more solid of a build. The other one had like a lot of open areas. They used a lot of like big pieces to cover up like big open areas. This one feels very solid. It's a lot more brick built, right? Those like big Technic pieces in the front aren't present. It's all like actual like full Lego bricks. And there's just so much like bright red right there. It's all just like very vibrant, and it just pops a lot more than the original to me. Obviously it's a bit bigger too. I believe this new version is $10 more retail than the original was, so that is something to keep in mind. However though, it feels a lot bigger, which could be a positive or a negative depending how you look at it. Because the original is already a big car, but like a minifigure fits in it and looks fine. But let's say, here's the original rebooted car. If we put him in here, right, like he is so tiny compared to this vehicle. I personally kind of love that. It's very silly and very unrealistic, but I like big unrealistic cars for Ninjago. So I see that as more of a positive than a negative. I think it's very funny and very fun. However, it does look a little bit silly, and the original is less like that, right? It's still an oversized car, but I think Kai fits into that one a little bit better. But yeah, this front I think is a lot better done. It feels more realistic, if that makes any sense. You got these like lights right here. You got these bigger swords. I really like these stickers a lot better than like the pseudo-realistic fire on the original. This new version treats like this yellow fire more as like a paint job or a design than like real fire on the car, and I think this looks a lot better, right? Just like this more more of like an artist's interpretation of fire than actually trying to look like real fire. I love the bright yellow for Kai. This was present. This has been present on a few of his vehicles, but it always looks very good when it's used. There's quite a bit of black on this vehicle, but I think it's the perfect amount, right? Like Kai's blade cycle, I'm actually not a fan of the legacy version of that because of like the overabundance of black, but I think there's just the right amount of black here. The gold is very well done too. I don't like how the cones are not present on the wheels. I think that just gave a little personality to the original that just isn't present here, though that's a very easy fix, right? You just turn the wheels inside out and put the cones on, so that's very easy to modify, but I do prefer the original in terms of the wheels right there. You have these sticks on the side that say X-1 with more of that fire design. Coming around to the other side, very similar thing. And moving up to this back area, here's the turret in this build. It's less of a transformation feature this time, right? The turret can't be hidden, it's always there, which is a little unfortunate, especially because of the coloration of it, right? The gray spring-loaded shooters cannot really be covered up, so it's like very gray in the back when everything else is yellow and black and red, so it does feel like a little bit discolored back there. And as I said earlier, the range on the original is not present on this one, right? That could be like moved back and turned 360 degrees. This can move up slightly and down slightly. That is about it in terms of range, which is quite unfortunate, really. Like the original range was much better for play. However, I think this like allows the entire back of this vehicle to be a lot more solid and makes for a much better display. The back of the new version is also definitely a lot weaker, right? You just have this one plate right here with some like sloped bricks and then like this astromech droid head. This is so much lamer than like having the basketball net and everything. I really wish, like, it feels like very lacking here on the back. Honestly, I might modify this at some point because this is definitely the worst part of the build, is this back area. But what I think is arguably the best part of this new version of the set is the play feature, because the whole like motorbike coming out thing is present here too. You see this big yellow Technic piece right here? This is to indicate like, hey, this is where the play feature is, but also because of the color scheme, like because it already uses yellow, that doesn't feel that out of place in the build. You just push down this right here and it opens the hood up. However, instead of like having to open the hood up in one place and then press something else to unleash the bike, if you just push down a little further, there the bike unleashes, and it unleashes like perfectly every single time. It's so much easier to reload the bike in this one than in the original. It's so smooth. Like, it's one of the best play features in any Lego set ever, honestly. Like, and I don't say that lightly. But this entire transformation is so smooth, and it's like it resets to normal so easily. Like, it's so well done, and I genuinely like love that about this set. And there's the inside with the bike removed. It uses like a spring system to launch the bike, and that's so much better than just sort of like pushing it with a Technic pin. Genuinely so creative and so well done. I like this makes me really love this set. Like, that's such a fun feature. And then finally, looking at this bike, there's some things better about it, some things worse. I think the back of this one's definitely better, right? And like, I guess the wheel placement's definitely better. It feels more bike-like. However, the entire seat section is very, very weak on this one. I don't like this like center console piece because, as I mentioned, if you have like Kai sitting up here, obviously it would be Legacy Kai, but his hands can't even reach the console. And I know it's supposed to be sort of an autopilot, but I don't know, I feel like it would have been better if there was some like manual control in here some way. Whether that be a steering wheel or handlebars, this doesn't feel like a bike to me. This feels like a seat, and it just feels very bizarre. I also don't love the two Technic pins coming out the back, but obviously they allow for the play feature to work in it. But these are pretty ugly coming from the back. So honestly, neither bike is great, but I think the original probably has the better bike of the two. But yeah, both of them have a ton of room for improvement. But that's just the bikes as a whole. Which one of these two sets do I prefer? Undoubtedly, it has to be the new X-1. I've come to appreciate this set more and more, like, the more I look at it. I liked it kind of when I built it, and I liked it even more when I did my review, but honestly, now doing this comparison, the new X-1 is such a great set, and I'm so happy to have it. The original is a more realistically proportioned car, and it does have some good things about it, right? I like the basketball in that piece, I like the shaping in the back, and I like how the turret plays. However, the new one just looks so much better. It's such a unique looking set. I love the vibrant colors with the yellow and the red. It feels like a very solid build, a very, like, well-made car just in general. It is oversized, but it's kind of fun that it's oversized. But that play feature, that play feature is so good. The way that bike slides out is so smooth. I've never seen a play feature operate so well. Because you didn't see it, but off camera, it was very finicky getting the bike back in the original one. Like, it's not difficult to do, but, like, the bike is prone to break sometimes if you don't get it exactly because you're putting a Technic pin in a Technic hole. The way the Legacy remake works, I've never once, like, messed up putting the bike back in, so yeah, that's very, very cool that it's able to do that. I'm genuinely just so impressed by the new version. I think it's definitely better by far. But those are just my thoughts. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Which one of these two versions of the X-1 do you prefer, and like what would you change about it? But I think that's about going to do it for this video. If you enjoyed, please press like, subscribe if you're new. I do LEGO and Ninjago videos like this every single day. I just did reviews of all 5 of the Ninjago Legacy 2021 sets, as well as Legacy versus Originals for all of them except for the Overlord Dragon now. Because obviously the Overlord Dragon doesn't have an original version. I have tons of cool Ninjago and LEGO content coming very soon, so you'll want to stay tuned for that. But yeah, as for this video, I think that's about going to do it. Thanks for watching, everybody, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!